till we all die. Iceberg up in the bakery, turn the heat up, nothing you can say to me.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back. This is now the Week 3 recap, Week 4 preview. Sorry I got it a little late. I tried to get some things going, get something different on, but fell through. It didn't fall through, just... First of all, last week, Week 3 of the NFL, was one of those weeks that nobody could have predicted. Or it's, that one person predicted that everything else wasn't supposed to go the way nothing went the way it was supposed to go. Teams that were supposed to perform didn't. Teams that weren't supposed to perform came through out of nowhere. It was just one hell of a week. Not making excuses, just overall, the NFL overall. It was a weird ass week, but it's in the books now, and let's get into it. First matchup. Let's go with the highs and lows first. High score overall out of everybody in the league, 117.8. House of Cousins Odell. Now, the reason why this is not important, but I claimed I was going to win by, I think it's at 13 points. It's burned into his memory. He fucking didn't forget it. Jumping ahead a little bit, I lost that match. They say you get served a fat slice of humble pie. Well, I couldn't find any humble pie, so I found your auntie's pie, Omar. On to the next honorable mentions. We got Hiding Houston, 117.3, and the Hungry Hippogriffs, 117.5. So really close, 3 scores. And of course, we got to mention the low score of the week, 65.6 points. The New York Brooklyn Zoo. Matt barely lost to David. So now on to the week 3 previews. Recap. I got my ass kicked. It was bad. I thought it was going to be bad, but this shit was really bad. Worse than I thought I was going to win, and I got my ass whooped. So, even the 19 points I left on my bench, it would not have helped me. Sterling Shepard finally comes through. Didn't even matter. I lost by, how many was it? 36.3 points. So, 13 that I thought I was going to win by. Yeah, not even close. That's what happens when you play a sorry receiver like him. Like Crabtree. Sorry ass Raiders. But anyways. His defense had -6 points. His tight end 0.9. But 5 players all scored double digits. Not one of them lower than 14 points. So it was a pathetic showing by my team. But it's only week 3. Don't forget that. Still a lot of games left to be played. I got my ass kicked. Like I said, I scored 81 points. Not that horrible, but in the grand scheme of things and for all the shit I was talking, yeah, it was embarrassing week. On to the next match. Rivers over the Hill versus the New York Brooklyn Zoo. I just mentioned Matt had the lowest score of the week. David had 73.5 points to 65.6. Excuse me. So our fantasy god, he escaped near defeat. He almost had this one lost. Also, there's 29.3 points on the bench. Luckily, he didn't need them because Stephon Diggs went crazy with Case Keenum. I don't think that's what I mentioned. No one predicted that. Case Keenum had a shit week the first week, and it looked like they were going to lose. And one of those teams, one of those weeks that I was talking about, everyone just went nuts. Who you wouldn't have thought. Zeke finally had a decent game after, well, not finally, he had a decent game after that ass whooping they took in Denver, where everyone was saying he quit on his team. But that still wasn't enough. Matt played the wrong receiver. He played J.J. Nelson instead of Larry Fitzgerald. I can understand the trends and stuff, but, you got to play your starters. You got to play your starters. You got to look at that. Play your starters, guys. Play your starters. Both teams didn't look great. Again, 73 points isn't great, but it was enough for him to beat Matt. So, on to the next game. We had Wit in the Hell versus Dougie Fresh. 70.2 points for Wit in the Hell as Mike's team, and Free Dougie Fresh had 67.2. So he lost by 3 points. And Jesse sits at 0-3. Mike at 2-1. After Denver whooped on Dallas, made them look like a bunch of bitches, came back down to earth against the Bills. So your Denver studs, Mike, Simeon, CJ, and Emmanuel Sanders combined for 19.4 points. But on the flip side for you, AJ Green finally had a good week. Looked good. That whole offense looked good. Could be the new offensive coordinator. You know, things finally got clicking, and Joe Mixon actually had some runs. I mean, he's not involved in this game, but just off the top of my head. And the fucking Raiders, again, the Raiders. They look so bad. I thought it was like 2006, 2007, like before Derek Carr even got there. I mean, it was a bad game to watch. That game sucked. Derek Carr sucked for you, Jesse, and that was horrible. Horrible. Free Dougie Fresh. That's the motto right now. Just don't give up on it, because you need him bad, and you need a win bad. 0-3, not off to a good start, but like I said, it's still the beginning. It's still early, so don't give up hope. Just make some moves, see what you got to do. But yeah, you only lost by 3, but still 67 points isn't what you want to bank on every week. So not very good for either of them. But again, still enough to pull out the victory. Third game, Hurricane Irma versus Hiding Houston. What I was saying about this week, the Rams and the Niners, what was it, 39-41, something stupid like that. Ridiculous game, high scoring offenses. It's like the defense just disappeared for both of them. So Carlos Hyde had a huge game, huge outing, really got you a lot of points in that one. Ray, I didn't even say it. So Ray lost by 27 points, but you had Jordy Nelson on the bench who had like 19, and Duke Johnson had like 17 or something, 16, 17, something like that. Combined almost 30 points. Could have, depending on who you would have taken out, probably could have helped you get closer to winning the game at least. Then again, though, hindsight's 20/20. But Nelson, I mean, I get that he had like a small injury, but it was nothing. You guys gotta pay attention. You gotta see what's going on. Check those injury reports and stuff, because that could have been a difference. Duke Johnson again. Crowell was the one who everyone thought was gonna go nuts, and it was Duke Johnson. So again, it's just a really weird week. Cade's at 3-0 now. It's pretty crazy. There's no trade offers. Pretty silent this year. No trades. Seems to be working for you, but on to the next game. I pity the fool. 0-3 versus Hungry Hippogriffs is now 2-1. 69.7 to... Shit, I didn't even put his score. I just put he won by 47.8 points. So he whipped that ass like bad. Roethlisberger on the road. I mean, look at the trends. He's not been good on the road. Neither as good as he is at home. Leonard Fournette, though, against Baltimore. I don't know what happened to Baltimore. Again, back to that whole crazy week thing. Baltimore got their asses whooped by Jacksonville. And Jacksonville has looked okay. They've shown flashes of life. But Baltimore's looked dominant the first 2 weeks. And then to come out, maybe it was in London. Maybe it was, the travel, the time zone difference. I don't know what you want to chalk that one up to. But Baltimore got their ass kicked, and Fournette had a pretty good day. I thought he was going to get stuffed and was going to have a really hard time getting any points, but had a pretty good day. Chafing. Bell, Gurley, and Hunt. How the fuck was no one paying attention, and how did we let you get that team? That's what I want to know. This goes out to everyone out there. We all let him get this team. We should all be ashamed. Only for a minute, though, because the rest of his team sucks ass. They do enough. His kicker had like 17 points, something stupid like that. But that three-headed monster is just insane. Hunt had like 24 points. Bell had 15, which isn't his usual self, but 15 points, I'll take that from any of my players. And then Gurley in that San Francisco and Rams matchup, he had like 30-something points. I think he had 3 touchdowns. Could have had 4 easily, but he got stuffed at the goal line on one of them. It was just a crazy, crazy week. And he had left Russell Wilson. Jason had left Russell Wilson on the bench who had like another 40-something points. And that shit was just... Then we started talking about, like, man, imagine if he would have had him playing, how many points he would have had, who would have had the most points ever. And that led me to do a little research. You know, I'm not trying to bring up bullshit. I know my team's garbage this year. No, I've only been close a couple of years. But I went back in the record books and I checked every single year, every single week, who's had the most ever. Now, the first year, we didn't have the decimal system. We just had the straight-up points. And there was 179 points by Brandon Cassidy. He's not in the league anymore. Fast forward 2 years. Year 3, I had 179.6. So that's the most all-time ever. 179.6 points. Anyone breaks that record, I'll figure out something cool to do. Maybe like chipping $20 on your league fee or something. I don't know. That's not decided yet, but I'll do something cool because if you have more than that, or if you can at least match that, that's crazy. I mean, again, these guys, that's every player on your bench going off. I mean, not on your bench. Every player, every one of your starters going off, and then some, because that's insane. I mean, these guys have 140 points. You know, we've had a lot of 140 points, a lot of 150 points, but 179, that's a lot. So if anyone beats that, I'll hook you guys up with something cool. I'll do something cool. Haven't figured out what yet. But that's just a side note. Like I said, Jason won this game. I predicted him to win this game. On the last one, I had predicted Ray to lose. I think I predicted Mike to win. I predicted Mike to win big, but he barely won. And then, of course, I predicted myself to win, and I got my ass kicked. And I think I predicted David to win. So far, I have 2-2. And then the last game of the week. Was that the last game of the week? Was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah, so Joe had the bye week. So then I couldn't have been 2-2. That's retarded. Lost 1. 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, I got that right. I got that right. 3. Okay, so I was 4-1. 4-1. My only one being my only game being the only loss that I predicted. Of course, I'm gonna predict I'm gonna win. But like I said, that was it for week 3. Now week 4. Okay, so I tried to get this video. Like I said, I tried to get it earlier. I tried to get it in sooner. Things didn't fall through the way I wanted to. So now that's why I did the week 4 preview. I'm gonna be doing the week 4 preview. It's gonna be a little. Not as genuine, I guess, because I kind of am already biased because as of this recording, the Thursday night game already happened. The Packers beat the shit out of the Bears. It's 35-14. And it was a tough game to watch. Tough game to watch because in the very first drive, Ty Montgomery was getting the usage, got 28 yards. Then he goes out with an injury. He's my starting running back. And broken ribs is what they're saying, but it's not confirmed. It's just that's the report that's out there. At least as of what I looked up, what I saw, nothing was confirmed. They're saying that it's broken ribs, but again, they got to do all the proper testings and see what it really is to actually give an actual timetable. So enough mumbling about that. With that being said, I lost my number 1 running back for this week, and the Packers were so far ahead that Tarek Cohen's usage was limited, which I also have, and I also started. So already I'm off to a shit start. I think I have like 7 points so far. But then again, David hasn't had a really good week the last 2 weeks, only putting up like 70 points, 75 points. So I'm not out. Doesn't look real good, but I think I can come within 10. You know, I hope I don't lose because I'm 0-2. Dave's 2-1, so I'm looking for a victory. But as a prediction, I think I'm taking the L this week. Next game, House of Cousins Odell versus Los Life Living. Los Life Living coming off the bye last week. House of Cousins Odell coming off an ass beating, giving an ass beating to me. So like I said, the game's already been played. He had Jordan Howard and he had the Green Bay defense, and they got him 24 points. The rest of his team, the rest of his matchups I can't see him putting him 117 points again. He'll probably get like in the high 90s, mid 90s. But Joe has, God damn it, Tom Brady, and that old bastard still does not quit. So he's playing Carolina. Carolina, if you took my advice, I thought Carolina was going to whip New Orleans' ass, and it turned out being the other way. So Carolina is just not doing so well as a team. Been kind of stagnant. They're still hanging around. But I think Brady's going to throw for like 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. So, Joe, you probably don't even have to start half your team. Aside from that, Lamar Miller needs a really big game for you. He hasn't had more than 10 points. I think his highest was 9 points. And for a starting running back, for running back one, you expect more than that. I mean, at least on a weekly basis. Maybe one week you have a bad week, but every week it's been getting worse and worse. So I don't see that going good for you. Sammy Watkins, again, that Rams-Niners game was insane. He benefited for like 22 points when the first week he had like 8 and 3 or something stupid like that. So he's not. Is it did the Rams offense finally get it clicking, or well, not the Rams offense. I mean Watkins. Has he finally found a connection with Goff, or is that just going to be a 1 week and we'll have to wait another 2-3 weeks for him to poke his head out? We'll see. Amari Cooper at Denver. It would shock me if he had a good game there because he hasn't looked good all year. I think Crabtree was the better one of that duo, but even then, they got beat up by Washington, and I think that shook them. It happened real early in the year. I mean, hopefully, I don't really care for them, whether they bounce back or not. For a fantasy standpoint, for you guys, hopefully they do bounce back. But I think they got shook. I think they were going on high after beating the Jets, and Marshawn was all doing his stupid dance and everything, but they ended up getting punched right in the mouth by Washington, and let's see how they react this week. But against Denver, that's a tough one. It's a division opponent. I don't see that one going too well. Omar's the rest of his teams, yeah, he has Beckham. Beckham had a fucking phenomenal game. I don't see it happening twice in a row that good. Maybe he gets like 10, 15 points. I don't know. A touchdown and like 50, 60 yards. But I got Omar on this one by 10. The next game, we got Hurricane Irma, 2-1 versus Whitney Hell, 2-1 also. So this should be a pretty good one. Breeze going to, I gotta mention again, Thursday night game already played. He had Jordy Nelson, 19.5 points. So it's really good. Breeze in London should be. I mean, Miami's not a tough match. At least Miami didn't look tough last week against the Jets, of all people. So, I mean, it should be good. But then again, you got the whole London factor. Do they adjust to the time zone? Is it a problem for everyone? So we'll see how that goes. But he should be good. Willie Snead finally coming back for them. Does he have Willie Snead? Yeah, he does have Willie Snead. They do pass it around a lot, so I don't think there's going to be much volume for him. But, I mean, you never know. He could put up a 60-yard bomb and a touchdown, get you some decent points. But again, what the hell was that? Mike, your team's playing Oakland. So your fantasy team is playing Oakland. Them taking that beating.
Powering off.
Again, I don't think that they're going to bounce back from that. I don't think that that's going to... That's a tough test. So I think your guys will do well. CJ and Emmanuel and Simeon. You're starting Simeon again. I think you'll do well. But I do like Ray's other matchups for the rest of his team, so I got him by 5 points in that game. And now the matchup of the week. Free Dougie Fresh, 0-3, versus I Pity the Fool, 0-3. Both of these teams need to win for their confidence, for the playoffs, for the chance of still being relevant, of even wanting to continue. We'll see how that goes. I have. Oh, Caesar had 10. He had Randall Cobb, so he got 10 points off of that, and his flex, so that's pretty good. Tyrod Taylor over Matt Ryan. I would prefer to have Tyrod over Matt Ryan in this one. Leonard Fournette has a good matchup against the Jets. Again, I mean, the whole thing happened with the Dolphins, but I don't know what that was. The Dolphins had an off week or something. And because the Jets were getting beat up by everyone, so I don't know. I wouldn't say that they're good. I think that Fournette's going to do a good job against them. Jesse has better wide receivers. The tight ends are a push. Kelsey's boomer bust. Kelsey, he had a great week. I think it was week 2, and then week 3 he only had 1 catch or 0.1 points, so he's not like a guaranteed starter. Well, I mean, if you got him, you're going to start him because of that, but he's very high and low. It's not, every week I'm going to get at least 10 points from Kelsey. Every week I'm going to get at least 15 points. No, it's kind of hard right there. So, I mean, the Titans a push. Caesar picked up Marcedes Lewis. Again, that whole Jags war thing, Jags in London, could have been good, or it could have just been a fluke. He ain't putting up, I don't think he's putting up 3 touchdowns. But I hate to say it, but I think Caesar's going to pity the fool and take this one. I got him by 1.5 points, though, so not by that much. I think it's going to be a close one. And another interesting matchup, the last matchup of the week, Hiding Houston 3-0 against the Hungry Hippogriffs 2-1. Rodgers already played. He got him off to, 30 points or something like that. 4 touchdowns, 179 yards. But Russell Wilson plays Indianapolis, so he can very easily match that. It could be, he could even surpass that. I mean, last week he had a hell of a game, but who knows? Russell Wilson is a very emotional player. Jay Payne's 3-headed monster, which I spoke of earlier, Bell, Gurley, Hunt. I think those guys are going to put up monster games this week. So as long as the rest of his team scores like 20, 30 points combined, he should be fine. Both these guys had 117 points last week. And triple digits doesn't seem crazy. I mean, Carlos Hyde, again, it could have been that 1 week against the Rams, but he's looked pretty good. He hasn't looked bad. But I think Jay Payne has the better matchups, and I got him by 5. Matt, the New York Brooklyn Zoo, has the buys this week, and maybe they can see, start to catch trends, see who's actually being good and who's a fraud. This is part of what makes it fun, but what makes it hard when you leave points on your bench because, I got a feeling about this guy, I got a feeling about that guy. But it's part of the game. I love it. I hate it. But that's all I went through. This kind of quick. Sorry. Again, I had plans for a co-host today, but the motherfucker didn't show up, didn't text me, and he's going to be like, I was waiting for you to call me. Whatever. Like I said, my door's always open. You guys ever want to come through, we'll come tag team this bitch. So I feel like I cheated you guys a little bit. I brought it in short, and I just kind of rushed through it. I apologize. Next week I'll be more prepared. Have a good week, bitches.